Let's talk anime. Hello and welcome to Brandon's Discuss Anime, the Reckless Amoeba podcast. I am your host, Brandon Horvath, and with me are my co-hosts, Brandon Falinger.
Son of a bitch! Why am I here?
Because we're going to talk about awesome anime.
You mean we're gonna talk about Casher and Sins again?
Maybe a little bit, from what you have to...
Oh boy!
Yay.
I wanna die inside.
And also with us, Ryan Stokely.
Hey, my name.
It was pronounced
Yes.
right.
2
I'm
weeks
shocked.
in a row.
New record.
Yay! So guys, did you hear about the PlayStation Classic coming out?
Yep.
Oh man, we heard about the NES and the SNES Classic. Let's do it ourselves.
Yeah.
Hopefully this will run better than Nintendo did.
It'll all depend on what games they put on it. I've heard
I
Final
think-
Fantasy VII is one of them. I don't know what else is in there.
But I don't know. The games look like shit, so if I play a classic game, I like 16-bit or the 8-bit.
Yeah, early 3D never looks great.
Yeah. Like when we were growing up, it was good.
I mean, there are some that still hold up, like Banjo-Kazooie still holds up
Yeah.
pretty well.
Crash Bandicoot?
Yeah.
That would be another one. Spyro still stands up pretty well, style-wise.
But then
Mario
you,
64 doesn't.
and then you get your Bubsy 3D. I believe, I forget which author I was reading the review, and he says it looks like Mrs. McGillicuddy's 3rd grade art class. Oh, by the way, they didn't have hands.
I was about to say the kids didn't have fingers.
Oh,
What, it was just like the Powerpuff Girls, or it was just a nub?
I
The
don't...
children didn't have hands, so
Yes.
the art was bad.
It looked really horrible, even for early 3D standards.
And the controls are fucking awful.
Oh, and speaking about Nintendo characters, something very interesting is coming to the Solamachi Entertainment Complex in Tokyo.
Oh, and here I thought you were going to tell me Waluigi was added to Smash.
No.
Aw.
But Kirby is getting his own limited diner.
Wait, what?
Kirby is getting his own diner. Just like the Cowboy Bebop diner from a few months ago.
But is it in Japan?
Yes.
There's no way it would be over here in the U.S. They never do limited runs of stuff like that. It's got to be a big event or something.
There is a Waddle Dee sleeping under a rice omelet, a Kirby head bread bowl filled with beef stew, and a Wispy Woods sweet garden is 3 of the things.
Nom nom nom.
Very,
So
very
I
delicious.
need to ask, when the customers come in, right?
Yes.
Are they all required to just inhale everything that they get served to them?
I don't know. I would be surprised if anybody would try to do that.
I mean, this is a Kirby restaurant, so I would assume that's what you have to do.
Coming September 27th until February 17th.
Oh boy.
So, if anybody's in Tokyo now, you have like 5-6 months to go. So, hey, I don't know.
Woo!
Brandon and Ryan, I know you each have stories about your weekend and your conventions.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Brandon first?
So I went to J1 Con over in Atlantic City. Apparently at some point it was in Philly. I don't know when it moved to Atlantic City, but I went to it now. It was quite nice. Much smaller than Anime Next was, but it was also far more roomy, so it's like you weren't getting gang pressed into like the sides as you were looking at vendor stalls, which was nice. Like it wasn't like a crowded New York street, is what I should say. You actually had room to like breathe. I didn't see many cosplays I did get one with Geralt from the Witcher series fighting fucking King Arthur from Monty Python.
Oh my god, yes.
It was beautiful.
That's awesome.
I got those two, and I'm like, can you two just like fight in front of me for a minute? I'll need a picture of this. And it was sweet. And like after the picture, I'm like, so where's Patsy? He's like, hey, look, I got a bag and some coconuts, all right? If somebody wants to volunteer, they can be Patsy. I'm like, oh, it's so good, though. I need to, like, clap the coconuts. It'd be so good.
You know, maybe if you send me the picture, I can post it on Twitter.
Yeah, sure. I could probably do that. Okay. I got a couple of them I could throw you, too. I didn't get many. I got, like, 4, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Because, again, there weren't that many that I liked, personally. That there weren't any good ones, just not ones that I really, cared for. I'm trying to think what else was going on. They had, regular gaming section. They had a maid cafe, which was nice.
Huh.
Maid cafe?
Yes, a maid cafe.
Like people dressed as maids?
Yes.
Okay.
And they basically call you master as if, they are literally your maid.
That's weird. I guess.
It's quite common in Japan.
Very common. Also cat cafes.
That too. But 2 of my friends went in there separately. The one got a table after the other one, and the first one that was there was trying to get his attention, couldn't get his attention, so he decided to throw a bottle cap, nearly hitting one of the maids, and got told basically if he did that shit again, he was getting kicked out. And I'm just like, why did you throw a bottle cap? What possessed you? He's just like, look, he wasn't listening to me. I needed to get his attention somehow. Oh, man.
Master, don't throw bottle caps to us. I'll kick your ass.
So, I also got a bunch of other things. I got some work from some posters from a guy that does, like, Eldritch-style stuff. So, like, it almost kind of reminds you of, like, Cthulhu-esque things.
Okay.
I got one where he did Midna from The Legend of Zelda in that kind of a style, and he also did Dipper with like fucking Bill Cipher just growing out of his head. Like he's got the book in front of him, you just see like Dipper's nose and eyes peeking up over the book. One eye's a different color. He's not got his hat on, but you see like the zits or whatever birthmark that has like the Big Dipper symbol on his head. And then Bill Cipher is just, like, growing out of his head like a plant.
Ooh.
Like, it looks sick.
Oh, and on that note, did you pick up the graphic novel yet?
I have not yet, no.
Dude, you're the biggest Gravity Falls fan. I'm kind of surprised you don't have it yet.
I've honestly not thought about it, but the minute... Because I've just had so much shit I need to do.
Okay.
That it's not been in the forefront of my mind.
Although,
like, it'll eventually get there.
I heard it takes place in the later half of Season 2, so one of my biggest gripes about this series, like near the end, was Pacifica, after becoming their friend, didn't have a bigger role. I heard she has slightly a bigger role in the graphic novel. I think in 3 of the 4 stories, so check there.
Okay. But I ended up talking to this guy about like other stuff he could do, and what immediately sprung to my mind upon seeing like the way he did this stuff was like, dude, you should do Courage the Cowardly Dog stuff. It would look amazing in this style.
Oh my god, yes.
And you just see his eyes light up, and he's like, oh my god, that would be great. And we start going back and forth about different episodes and different monsters that showed up in there. And I'm like, what about the duck aliens though? And again, just snapping his head. Just like, I could do so much shit with that. Oh my god. Like, if I go back to J1, which I probably will, it was quite a nice con for being as small as it was. I'm curious to see if he takes up that idea and see what he does with it.
You should ask for 1% kickback.
Hey, look, I sparked your inspiration. All right, I needs my money. Hand it over.
Okay, 0.5%.
How about Tree Fitty?
Tree Fitty.
And
Or,
you were telling
maybe...
me you saw something very interesting there.
Oh, yes. So as I was looking at some of the vendor stuff, I glanced over, and in this, like, pocketed area, I see that they're playing anime, right? So I'm like, hey, that one looks familiar. What the hell is that? And I walk over, and dear God, if it isn't fucking Cashern. Not the one we watched. The original Cashern from the 80s. And dear God, like, I was probably there for like 3 minutes because I wasn't sure. Because they didn't say his name or anything. And I'm like, it looks like him. But it's old. I can't tell. And it was like at the moment where Cashern is apparently fighting Breaking Boss. And I'm like, I don't. And then all of a sudden, Breaking Boss comes out and says, like, Cashern. And I'm like, for fuck's sake. And I just turn heel and walk right the fuck out. I'm like, I'm done. Nobody else is suffering watching this because I was the only one in there.
And I heard that you met somebody that shares a mutual hatred for Cashern, too.
Yeah, no, Devin was one of the guys that came with us. And I found out that he hates this show just as much as I do. Like, we were both in there trying to figure out if this is what it was. And as soon as we found out, we're like, at least nobody's fucking suffering because of this, and left. Like, it was bad. And it was 80s bad, too. Like, the dubbing was terrible. It was bad. Oh, God. I'm trying to think. Well, I told you about the, I also picked up a Nier Automata, like, little postcard-sized, one that I liked. What else?
Nier Automata postcard!
Yes, exactly. See? It's got 2B and a bunny outfit. It's great. I couldn't say no. And of course, my buddy Andy stumbled onto a place that had, like, essentially what I like to call gore porn, which is just very gory pictures.
Gorn?
Essentially. I mean, they're fully clothed and everything, but it's got the gore there. Like, one of them was literally a character, like, on a giant dartboard with a giant dart lodged in her neck.
I do not like Goro.
I'm just sitting here like, of course you would gravitate toward this stand. Of course you would. Like, for whatever reason, it's his thing. I don't get it.
And on
I can
that
tolerate it, but, you know.
note, let's move over to Orion.
Oh, hold on. I'm not done. Oh, that's right. I found, fuck, who was it? It was Mr. Mystery. I found somebody dressed up as goddamn fucking Grunkle Stan with the fez and everything. It was great. I was so happy. I found that. I found a cool looking Wario. Oh, right. I did find somebody that did a poster of, Made in Abyss.
Oh.
I found a really nice poster of that.
That's cool.
I picked up a Persona 5 main protagonist figure, which didn't look as good as I first thought. The picture on the box looked really nice, but when I pulled it out of the packaging, I'm like, oh, his face doesn't look quite right. It looks pudgier than it should be. So I don't know. I feel like that one wasn't as much worth my money. But I did pick up a Mordred Nendoroid figure, because Mordred is great.
Yes. Mordred is awesome.
I love Mordred. She is great. She's so angry at everything.
Rin is still better, though. But Mordred is a very tight second. So, Ryan, your end.
I went to Mothman Festival in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. And, apparently Bethesda was there, so it was even bigger than it normally is.
Where's the Fallout? They giving out Nuka-Cola?
They're giving out a bunch of free merch.
Oh, what'd you get?
I didn't get shit.
Why not?
I didn't give a shit.
Come on, man.
There's too many. There's like way too many fucking super nerds there that I just didn't give a shit. And then the next day, the same booth was there, and there was nobody in line. The line was like 3 blocks long.
Jesus.
Just for a paper cup.
All right, if it was just a paper cup, that's overkill.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm like,
probably give out a good merch the first day.
Well, no. Even the first day was like, I don't know where the other booth was or whatever, but people had a bunch of Pip-Boy masks and a bunch of like just 76 shirts. So there must have been a booth elsewhere or something. And they were just in line for a paper cup with the 76 on it with the cog.
Oh, that's lame.
Yeah. So anyway, it was like packed the first day. And then the next day, all those people left, I'm assuming. And pretty much there was speakers every day from like 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the theater there. And it's like an old theater. It was hot as shit in there.
Mm-hmm.
They had a giant fan blowing, but it didn't do anything because there was like 100 or so people in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And speakers basically talking about paranormal stuff and cryptids like Bigfoot and all that, aliens, Men in Black, Mothman.
But it's aliens.
You said the ancient aliens guy was going to be there. Did you see him?
That's what I thought. No.
Oh.
Like, there was a guy from the Bigfoot Hunters there, I think.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that as well.
Yeah, he was there. And then, like, everybody else, I had no idea who the hell they were. But they had, like, a lot of, like, the art vendors and shit that were around. I bought two things. I got a Krampus print from the sky, and it looks like a Archie comic, but it's a Mothman.
Oh.
That sounds kind of cool.
Yeah. It's just like the cover of one, so I just need to get picture frames for those. And we went on a tour bus to the TNT factory where Mothman was supposedly first seen. And we went to like the bunkers they had where they tested the TNT or whatever the hell was in the bunkers.
Mm-hmm.
Basically where kids just go drink and get high because it's literally nothing to fucking do in West Virginia where we were.
Come on, you gotta go. Oh, you were in West Virginia. Shit. Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, you need to go up to the Pine Barrens and check out the Jersey Devil.
I want to do that though. That'd be fun. Camp out there. They have like a coal power plant there, which is weird. It's like right on the outskirts of the town.
Huh.
And you said they didn't have the hot dog you wanted?
Oh yeah. So on the way, it was like probably 40 minutes out of the way. We went to this place called Hillbilly Hot Dogs. It was on diners, drive-ins, and dives, like twice, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a hot dog there called the Home Wrecker, and it's a 1.5 pound hot dog, and it's 15 inches long.
2 pounds of toppings?
Yeah, 2 pounds of toppings.
Wolf it down. You can do it. I believe in you.
Well, I was gonna get it, and they had a sign that they weren't making home wreckers at the time.
Oh.
I guess it was too early in the day or some shit, because they literally just opened when we got there.
Jeez.
So we're down a video.
Yeah. I had the Junkyard Dog hot dog, which was every topping.
Yeah.
And that was actually really good. There was like 8 or so things on there.
Could you actually taste anything, or was it just a muddled mess?
No, I could taste most of the random flavors on there. They layered it pretty well.
What kind of toppings were they?
Well, let's see.
I assume chili and cheese was like 2 of them.
Yeah, chili, cheese, onion, habanero, pepper.
Ooh.
What the hell? Banana peppers, sauerkraut, relish,
Ketchup, mustard, probably.
Yeah, a little bit of that. Wow, I can't think of the damn thing. Coleslaw.
Okay.
And there was something else, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I got one of those. And
aside from the coleslaw, it sounds like a pretty much just generic toppings that you would get normally.
Yeah.
I'm kind of disappointed they didn't go balls to the wall with it. Like, throw freaking, like, I don't know, Cheetos on it or something.
Their burger was awesome. My mom got a burger and, like, she only ate half of it, so I ate the other half. And
Jesus, Ryan, a junk dog and then a burger?
Yeah. I could have eaten, like, a lot more. Because their burgers, or their hot dogs, like, regular size hot dogs, but just with the toppings and stuff. It was, like, really cheap. It was, like, $3 for a hot dog with, like, all those toppings and stuff. And the drinks for, like, $2 or whatever. Also, you can, like, drive right past it. It's like a hole in the wall. And it's, like, junk everywhere. It's like a junkyard you go to. Very confusing. If you never looked it up or anything.
I mean, usually that's where the best stuff is, though.
Yeah.
There's, like, those holes in the wall, the ones that, like, normal tourists don't notice or see.
It was neat, though.
So, after nearly half an hour, let's talk about our main...
I got one more thing I want to tack on that I remembered.
No! Okay, go ahead.
Sorry, one last thing. So, I found out, right, that the director for Rick and Morty, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is the same one for Teen Titans Go.
Oh, really?
Somehow.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's the same guy.
Wait, Dan Harmon?
Not Darren Harmon. He's the creator. You're looking for the director.
Oh, okay.
Let me just go ahead and pull up a picture of this fucker. Actually, no, it's pointless. Because you've never met him before. So you wouldn't know this. But this guy looks exactly like Tristan. Like, it's crazy how similar he looks.
Peter Rida McHale?
Let me see here.
Or Peter Rita?
No, it's not the director then. Fuck. It was somebody that worked on both Rick and Morty and Teen Titans. And the Teen Titans Go series.
I think I may tag this on to next week because we are running a bit long. So if you want to...
Fine.
Oh,
That's
damn.
fine. I'll search this shit. Figure it out.
This anime is a follow-up to one that we did a few weeks ago. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Battle Tendency.
Okay.
So, more JoJo, except this time it deals with cyborg Nazis and...
Oh, my favorite.
Good cyborg Nazis, by the way.
Those are my favorite kind of Nazis.
Yes, heroic cyborg Nazis.
My favorite kind of cyborgs.
Oh my god, Rudolph von Stroheim is so beautiful.
He is, I would say, one of my favorite characters this season.
He looks just like Guile. He's just Guile from Street Fighter. It's great.
I will have to look for Guile's theme for JoJo to see if it matches with JoJo too. But the villains this season, ooh boy, they really make Dio seem, pathetic.
A little bit, doesn't he?
Yeah. And if you remember, Dio Marlon Brando is...
What?
Yes, Dio was actually named after Marlon Brando.
Wait, what?
That is...
Dio?
Yes, like, the main villain of part 1, like, Dio Brando, actually got his name from Marlon Brando.
Interesting.
Also, the Swedish metal band Dio,
Yeah,
I think they're Swedish.
I don't know.
We could ask the Swedish chef. He might know.
Yes. Yes. Or Joel from Vinesauce. I know he's Swedish.
Perhaps they would like some meatballs.
They're American.
Oh. Okay. Never mind
unless
then.
I'm an idiot and I forgot his first name. Unless Dio himself is Swedish.
No, he's British.
Ronnie James Dio. Yeah,
Oh.
I said Johnny, then Donnie.
Come on. Get his name. I know they all rhyme. Oh, man. Okay. Our main hero is actually the grandson of the first JoJo. And his nickname is also JoJo. Much like every main character in every iteration of the series.
Oh my god!
Holy shit!
Holy shit!
Although I watched this part in English, I'm definitely going to watch part 3 in Japanese. Just
come
for
on.
that.
You gotta rewatch part 2 in Japanese, man. The English that fucking Joseph throws out is real.
The English?
Yes! He speaks in English. Like, he speaks Japanese, but there are lines that he just throws out in English.
Oh my god!
Especially extreme exclamations like that.
Cuttlefish! It's a cuttlefish!
Like, I swear Araki loves this character because he shows up in 3 separate parts.
Part 3 as a side character, part 4 as a minor character, from what I understand.
Yeah, about a minor character.
A whole lot less over the top from what you tell me, Brandon.
Considering the fact that he's extremely old. Like, he's pushing 90 at that point. By the point that part 4 rolls around.
And this takes place 47 years after part 1?
Something like that. Yeah, I think it's just shy of, 50 years.
Yes. So, our main character...
Also, he's 19, if you didn't know. He's 19 in this entire series of, battle tendency.
Really?
Yeah, if you look at his gravestone at the end of the series, he's 19.
Oh, yeah!
He's born 1920, I believe, and the epitaph reads, 1939, I think? So he's 19 years old.
And Brandon, weren't you just going to mention how he has deep insight on his opponents, even to the point where he knows what they're going to say?
Yeah, I was just going to say how he knows insight on his opponents. Wait a minute, how'd you know that? No, literally, that's what fucking happens. He'll literally say, and your next move will be this, and they start to say it, and they're like, wait a minute, what the fuck? Here's the thing. Jonathan in the first part is literally a powerhouse. He's not very clever. He's not smart about it. It's just, I'm gonna punch you in the face real hard. Joseph is straight up, there are plans within even more plans. It's plan fucking sheption here. It's insane. And I love it.
He is incredible in his multi-layered plans, one of which is running away.
His best plan is just straight up to run away.
Although he seems like a coward, he actually is defending his friends.
Exactly, right? Should we mention some of the names of the villains, such as Santana?
Yes. Or wait, what was his replacement name since that didn't get...
San Viento is what they decided to alter it for copyright reasons, I believe. But yes, his name is Santana. And then we had Whammo, AC/DC, and Cars.
Which is Santana, the 80s band Wham, the metal band AC/DC, and the American rock band Cars?
I mean, I'm going to take your word for it, because the musical references throughout this entire series is ridiculous.
Yes, so much.
Oh my god, it's great. Cause it's even better, because, right, the whole series starts when freaking Joseph and his grandmother, Irina, who's still alive, by the way, Jonathan's wife from the first part is still alive at this point, and they moved to America in New York City because good old REO Speedwagon has become an oil baron in America, and he's rich as fuck now.
Robert E.O. Speedwagon.
It's great. He's now rich. But we find about our new enemies that are called the Pillar Men, because they are sealed within pillars until, they drink enough blood, in which case they, come out.
Yes.
How did you feel when you started seeing what Santana could do, Brandon?
My thought was, how? And my second thought was, what?
I told you about it before you started watching. You were like, how the fuck does he fight this?
Yes. One of his abilities is to merge his cells somehow with his opponents and become part of them.
Like, literally Santana's cells would be devouring the cells of anyone he comes into contact with.
And later on, not Cars,
AC/DC? Whammo?
Yeah, Wham. Didn't he merge himself with a horse in, the final few episodes?
Yes.
Okay.
He merged himself with a horse.
So he was, hiding within a horse.
A horse, of course.
We'll get more into that later, but... Oh my god. Just the sheer level of them compared to the sheer level of Joseph.
You mean how they just walk around in nothing but a loincloth and are, ridiculously overly muscled, like bodybuilders?
Yes.
It's literally like you took fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger from when he was in his prime as a bodybuilder and just made him wear a loincloth, and he walked around with just that. That's essentially what they are. They took extreme bodybuilders and just said, wear this loincloth around. But, they have weird abilities, dude. The fact that they can just contort their bodies to fit into, ridiculously tiny spaces.
Oh, Santana escaped through the air ducts.
Through what? Maybe a 10-centimeter wide slit in the air vents?
Yes.
And he did that all by contorting his body within, a fraction of a second. They had to slow down their cameras because they were watching him to a ridiculously slow point. They blinked and he was gone. Normally.
And by the way, this is, around World War II.
Of course it's going to be in World War II. There's Nazis.
Yes, of course. But I'm just saying that these are German cameras. The best cameras in the world!
Yes. Germany has the best technology ever, according to freaking Stroheim. They have enough technology to rebuild him as a fucking cyborg. Twice.
Stroheim is amazing.
Oh god, it's great. Oh my god, he's great. Stroheim is the best. I keep thinking about it and I keep laughing, and it's killing our time. But yes, these Pillar Men have ridiculous abilities, and Santana is apparently one of the weakest.
And he gave JoJo and who was Zeppelin's grandson?
Caesar,
a run for their money.
Well, not Santana. Santana was gone by the time Caesar showed up.
Oh, then JoJo ran for his money.
Yes. It was literally to the point where, because they have the same weaknesses as a vampire when it comes to the sun, the Pillar Men cannot be out in the sun. It will kill them. So what Santana does is he merges himself with Stroheim's body. Stroheim realizes the only way to stop this is to basically, obliterate himself. So he blows up with a grenade.
Chopping off his own leg?
Yeah, chop off my leg so I can reach the door to open it up to the outside so we can get sunlight in here to kill this fucker. And then, nope, through the leg that you just cut off, he's gonna swing inside your body so he won't touch the sun. and then he just starts controlling you from the inside. So the only reasonable explanation that we can use to do this is to just pop the pin and kill yourself. So that way he gets hit by the sun. He can't escape then.
And these Pillar Men created the stone mask from part 1, which turned Dio into a vampire.
Which we then find out is apparently their food. They turn humans to vampires in order to have something to feed off of. Like, seriously, this is so stupid.
But
it's so
awesome.
Stupid. Yes, it is. It's great. It's a great way to amp up, like, how much more of a threat these are. It's like, oh yeah, you remember Dio, the vampire, who was, like, superhumanly strong and, like, literally seemed like he could not be killed? Yeah, these guys ate him for breakfast, literally. Like, this isn't jumping from Frieza to Cell. This is straight up jumping a notch up the food chain.
This is like Frieza to Beerus.
Oh my fuck. Like, it's not even a comparable thing. Because it's just, like, under any other circumstances, Beerus and Frieza would never meet.
Okay.
And as far as, like, eating them, again, literally these are things, we created you so we could eat you.
Oh. And Robert's all freaking out when they're trying to unleash the Pillar Man.
Well, we get this thing from Stroheim who's like, you need to go to Italy, JoJo. Alright? I can't do it because I'm about to die. You need to go to Italy and warn the rest of the German army about those Pillar Men, because we found more.
3 more.
Which are after the Red Stone of Aja. Or Aja. I'm not quite sure on the pronunciation 100%.
The American pronunciation was Asia, like the continent.
I know it's spelled AJA.
I'm just going by what I heard from the English dub. So.
But, they're after that. And the whole reason they want that is because it's a perfect gem that can, reflect sunlight to the point of, like, 100 times its intensity or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And Cars, our good buddy Pillar Men over here, developed a new mask in order to make them into the perfect being. It will force them to evolve further. And all he needs is that stone in order to perfect the new stone mask that he's made.
And then, even sunlight won't hurt him.
Oh yeah, no, he will be perfect and unkillable.
In every single way.
Perfect regeneration. He can constantly shapeshift into new forms. Grow feathers, scales, whatnot.
Turn his hand into a squirrel.
Literally turn his hand into a squirrel, then into a butterfly, and then back into a hand again.
So Ryan, what's your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I don't have any thoughts about this. Sounds like a good show, like the other one, but just as confusing. Why is everything confusing?
It's a bizarre adventure, all right?
Yes,
it has to be confusing.
It is bizarre.
You think it's bizarre for you just hearing about it? Imagine experiencing it. Imagine being JoJo and being like, what the hell? Oh my god! Do you understand why he screams these things now?
Yes! Yes!
Like, oh my god. It's freaking great. He meets up with Caesar, and Caesar's just an asshole to him constantly and just looking down on him.
And one more thing. Back in Mexico, when they were bringing Santana out, the Germans were saying, oh, this Pillar Man is nothing. Let's go feed him to the vampire. And then he attacks the vampire, and they're like, oh my god, this is worse than we thought.
He's just absorbing him.
And then the Germans were going to use the Pillar Man to win the war, but
they're way too powerful, way too smart.
Things happened.
Can't control them. Oh my god. It's like, what was it? How did you like the fight between Wemu and JoJo? And just in that Coliseum battle that they have.
So many layers there, too.
So many layers!
Like the crossbow?
What do you want, the smaller crossbow or the bigger crossbow? Oh, that's easy. I'll take the bigger one. Yeah, but it's too strong to draw back.
Oh, and then everybody banging shots like pool balls?
Literally banking shots off the fucking Coliseum's building in order to, like, have it fly halfway around the entire Coliseum only to bounce off a rock and slam into your opponent.
Oh my god.
Like, this isn't a knockout drag-out brawl. This is, we need to plan this shit perfectly. And it's so beautiful. The point where it's like, I spun my yarn all over the place. It conducts Hammond perfectly. That's great. I spun my veins in my body all over, and they've severed your yarn.
Oh, but don't worry.
I had a second layer of wool yarn. That way when you cut it, you didn't cut the necessary parts, you cut the parts that were more obvious.
Oh no! Now my arm is severed!
Oh yeah, how'd you like that, by the way? I told you he was Luke Skywalker.
Oh yes. I thought
At the end of the series, he has a robotic hand.
I thought you meant more Lisa.
Oh no. Although technically, I guess you could look into that one that way too.
Kind of.
But I was leaning more toward the robo hand.
Oh, okay.
Because, German technology is amazing.
And I'm just wondering, how ditzy is Susie Q?
In what way?
She just seems so airheady.
I mean, for the most part, she's kind of left out of the loop of what's going on and the importance of stuff.
Kind of like, oh, be sure to contact people that JoJo is alive.
Yeah, no, like, the end of the series is literally a fucking volcano exploding. And JoJo landing, like, out in the ocean somewhere from that explosion.
Everybody thinks he's dead, but in the meantime, he got married and said, like, oh, be sure to tell people I'm alive. She forgets.
For like 6 months! She forgets to tell anyone he's alive!
And AC/DC taking over her body, being just a nervous system.
Yeah, no, he's literally just a brain and some veins. That's it. How'd you like the final battle with Cars, though? And how, like, he's just shape-shifting between multiple different versions of, like, animals and shit?
That was interesting. I was thinking, okay, how can you beat him now? Blow him up from the inside?
He'd just regenerate, probably.
Oh, wait, send him into space.
Well, if it's something so powerful that you can't defeat it, what's the next best thing? Seal it away. Well, there's no kind of sealing things that'll work on Earth. Put him in space. He'll freeze to death out there. Until he comes back in, like, part whatever.
Does he come back?
Not as far as I know. Somehow it wouldn't surprise me if he managed to do it. Because he's technically alive still.
But at the end of part 6, they revamped the story from scratch, right?
It's yes and no. I don't know how many events still transpire, but you've been moved to, like, a parallel universe, essentially.
Oh, so Cars may come crashing back down.
Well, it's a parallel universe, so, again, I don't know if Cars even existed in that one.
Oh.
My point is, though, that parallel universe, for all we know, is just somebody's dream sequence. And we could just be back in the real world in, like, part 9 or something.
That would be an interesting twist.
I have no idea. I haven't even read part 6, so I can't tell you how things go down. I just know everything goes to shit. I just know everything goes to shit, and that it's Jolene Joestar that's the main JoJo in that one. That's
female
it. That's all I
JoJo,
got.
huh?
The only female JoJo. That's a main character, at least.
And the main pillar men seem to embody nature in some way.
How?
Like, Wham has power over fire. Cars has power over wind. AC/DC has...
You're completely wrong right now. You do realize that, right?
I'm switching?
Yes. Whammo is wind.
Oh.
AC/DC's fire.
Okay.
Cars is literally light.
Okay.
I have no idea how he's light exactly. The only thing that he really has is like what is essentially a blade that comes out of his arm and has like microscopic chainsaw teeth on it that fly around and make it shimmer.
Okay, that was impressive.
It's impressive, but it's not really manipulating light. Like that's my one problem with him saying he's a master of light. And I'm like, you don't do anything besides glitter a little.
Go back to Twilight, you damn vampire.
He just eat the actual vampires. And they probably spit him out because of all the glitter.
That would be a far better movie.
You think? It'd only be one movie long because he'd just eat them all. And then just be upset at the indigestion from all the glitter.
And even AC/DC's like emotional outbursts of crying.
Right. There's a point where it's like, what was it? JoJo severs his arm. He starts, like, you think he's gonna be angry and, like, really upset about it, but he bursts into fucking tears. Like a goddamn baby.
And it's not a trick. It's, like, pure crying. And then about a minute later, I'm glad I got that out of my system. I'm sorry you had to see that. Let's continue our fight.
Yeah, like in the Japanese version, he basically goes, man, I always feel much better after I've had a good cry. Right. Now that I'm done with that, let's get back to what we were going to do.
And I just love how respectful these villains are.
Well, I mean, until they're backed into a corner anyway.
Yeah, except for Cars. Cars seems to be the more asshole-ish of the three of them.
You could say asshole, or you could say single-minded. Like, he doesn't take his eyes off the prize for anything.
And are they, like, trying to take over the world?
I mean, essentially, once they evolve to their perfect, like, the new perfect being, yes, they will.
Okay.
Like, but the idea is we need to conquer everything that has ever stood in our way, the main thing being the sun.
But what will happen when they eat all of humanity?
Oh, I mean, they could literally turn it into a farm.
Okay.
Like, we would literally be no different than from cattle for them at that point.
Huh.
Interesting thought.
Like, why wouldn't they make us cattle? All they gotta do is get rid of all the Haman users. Not even then, actually, because once he became perfect, Haman doesn't work anymore.
Because he has power over Haman.
Well, it's not only that, it's the fact that Haman personifies sunlight, and now that he's immune to sunlight, well, he's immune to Haman at the same time.
Yes, Haman, the main energy weapon from part 1.
Quote-unquote, the Ripple.
How many?
Dan Haman.
For fuck's sake.
It's grits.
Oh, man. But, yeah, no, part 2... I love the fights in part 2 just because of how intensive and ridiculous they are. Of just, I got you. No, you didn't. I had a plan. See, I actually did this. But no. What about how I did this as well?
No. I knew you were going to do that, so I did this instead.
So I did this.
But wait, I knew you were going to do that to my initial plan, so I did this. Oh, no. I knew you were going to do those two things, so I did this. How did you know?
I love these fights in part 2 just because of this, because we never get this kind of thing again.
Not even in part 3.
No, unfortunately.
Joseph isn't as crafty since he's a side character now.
Well, that and Hammond doesn't really have anything to do in part 3. Like, it's pointless.
Oh yeah, they kind of got rid of Hammond in favor of the Stand.
Yeah, Hammond doesn't really have anything useful to do in part 3.
But
and the fact that Joseph has never had a reason to practice it after the Pillar Men.
But
so he's completely out of practice.
Stand kind of Hammond powered-ish?
No, I don't believe so. Honestly, his stand is a weird one. Like, it's an outlier out of most other stands. It's more of a support stand than it is an actual one-on-one fighting stand.
Interesting. And we'll be covering part 3 in a few months, maybe like 7 or 8, as compared to like 5 weeks. Because since parts 1 and 2 tie together more so than parts 2 and 3 do, that's why we're doing these so close together.
Yeah, well, don't worry. We'll get to part 3 and part 4 and whenever part 5 comes out and finishes. But for now, part 1 and 2 were so closely linked that it's better to get these two out of the way as quickly as possible.
Although Dio does show up in season 3, or part 3.
Oh yeah.
Because at the end...
I love how he survives the whole end of part 1 too, by the way.
Oh, that's going to be interesting to see. Wait, they showed his coffin, so did he somehow lock himself in... No, wait.
See, this is the thing I had questions about at the end of part 1 that I forgot.
Part 2?
Like when I was reading the manga. Didn't Erina get out of there in Dio's coffin at the end of part 1? So where did this second coffin come from? I don't remember if it ever explains that.
Well, he forgot.
Araki got bored and drew a second coffin.
Yes, the whole Araki got bored meme.
I'm gonna make it a meme if it's not one. Araki got bored. Let's do something different.
Yes.
Well, I got no more ideas for Hammond. Let's do something else.
I'm bored.
But yes, look, we'll get into part 3, and we'll have all the Brazzers memes we could ever want.
Oh,
because it is littered in part 3.
So many porn memes from what you tell me, Brandon.
So many awkward situations that are just put the Brazzers logo on there, and it's gold. Like, taken so far out of context. It's like, what the shit is even happening right now?
From what I saw about this compared to part 1, Hammond seems to be more single-colored, if at all not colored.
Because well, that's the thing, right? Like, the only reason it ever seemed to be colored with, cell phone call I've got going on. Let's see here, let me just go ahead and mute that so it doesn't happen again, I hope. But yeah, the only reason they seemed to be colored was literally because of, like,
what
where it was used, or what it was used with. So the way it seems, it was just something that Jonathan made up as he went along, rather than being like an official name for anything. Yay, more phone calls. Do you mind pausing for a minute?
Okay.
The timing is beautiful, because I'm in the middle of recording.
Oh my god. But honestly, Ryan, there's so many musical references in this whole franchise from what Brandon tells me.
How many seasons are there?
As of now, I know part 3 has 2 seasons. Parts 1 and 2 was 3 seasons. So, maybe 5 or 6 altogether?
Oh, okay.
I've returned.
And you're back. Okay.
We can kick back in. Sorry about that.
What were we just talking about?
Fuck me if I know. I think we were talking about part 3 or something, about how browsers memes were great.
Yes.
I don't remember either.
How much this part loves severed limbs. Oh my god. No, I'm sorry. I love JoJo. I love part 2. I love Joseph. He's my favorite JoJo. As much as I love stands, this is still some of my favorite like fight sequences because it's just outsmarting everybody.
I think we were talking about stands and how they. No, we were talking about Haman and how like the colors on.
Right.
Yes, right. The colors are completely seem to be an invention of Jonathan's, just his way of naming things. Because that kind of naming convention does not come back in 2 at all.
Although, like, he kept using Haman Overdrive.
So yeah, he did use Zoom Punch once too. So the whole dislocating your shoulder and everything, that's still in there. He used it once.
And good old Smokey Brown.
Oh yeah, good old Smokey Brown, our first black character in JoJo, who gets picked up off the streets as a thief, raised by the JoJo's, by the Joestar family, and eventually grows up to become literally the mayor of Georgia, or the governor of Georgia, one of the two. But we get a whole bunch of bookends to a bunch of characters in here, like Irina passes away at a ripe old age. Robert dies like 2 years later of a heart attack. Who else passed away that was mentioned? We got like
Stroheim.
Stroheim died in the war. He never saw JoJo after the events of part 2. He died as a proud German soldier.
The best in the world!
I can't think of anyone else. Like, we got Smokey's little end piece. We got Joseph's end piece. Was there any other older character that gets...
No.
Was it just those 5?
I believe so.
Yeah. But we get a nice little
teaser.
Post-credit teaser for part 4, where Joseph is just an old man in an airport. Yeah, for part 3. We get Joseph in an airport who's like, damn, why did my daughter have to run off with some Japanese guy? He bumps into a guy in the airport and is like, oh, I'm so sorry. Wait a minute. Are you Japanese? Why, yes, I am. Punches him in the face. I hate Japanese, but I sure love my Walkman, and it's just a Sony Walkman. You know the best part? He's dressed up like Indiana Jones.
Oh, yes.
Like a buff Indiana Jones, and his stand works with that design.
Oh, really?
Yes. Ask yourself a question. Where's the whip?
Ooh. Ooh. Ooh.
And then, of course, we get the scene of, like, a fishing boat pulling up Dio's apparently second coffin that was on the ship.
And a shot of a mysterious youth in a jail cell.
Yeah. He looks real intense. Like he's a delinquent or something.
Yes. Who is he? You'll find out in part 3. Spoiler!
The new generation.
Spoiler, he's the next main character. And yes, his name is JoJo.
But he doesn't... Like, look, as much as I love JoJo as a character, he doesn't really have a personality.
Oh.
It's just constant brooding.
More or less than Anakin Skywalker.
I mean, he's less obnoxious than Anakin.
That's good, that's good.
Like, he's constantly got that... How do I want to put it? His expression never really changes from just, like, kind of bored.
Although I did see part of the original OVA, which is part 3. I think I saw Darby the Gambler.
Yeah, you've mentioned Darby, which is nice. I bet you can't wait to see Oingo and Boingo.
Who? Okay, I get the musical reference, but those sound interesting.
Oh, it's a great episode. It is a great episode of just pure failure. It was get to see a whole hoss.
So that's about the only thing I do know is Darby the Gambler and how JoJo is so deadpan throughout the entire thing.
Oh, completely.
Okay, I will bet everybody. Wait, what?
He just sits there just like, man, this is just a pain in the ass.
Okay, I'm just going to roll with the punches. Okay, come here. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna offer you.
Alright, so look, at the end of once we finish this, I'm sending you the cherry. I'm pretty sure I sent it to you before, but I'm sending you the cherry scene from part 3.
Oh, the cherry scene!
Okay, you have seen it, yes. Alright, you do.
Yes! We'll get into that during part 3. That deserves a whole mini discussion by itself.
Wait, what?
Okay, we'll show you, Ryan, after this, but oh my god, the cherry scene. Oh my god, but that's about...
You look Razzers means, there's the first one of that part.
Oh my god. Okay.
He had that cherry.
Any other questions?
No. I need to watch this show because despite you guys, like, explaining the show, I literally don't know what the fuck is going on in this show. So I need to watch.
Ask Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been trying to get me to watch it.
And he was actually going to be with us today, but he has internet issues currently, so he can't do it. Hopefully, he said he'll try to fix everything by part 3 time, so...
Hopefully. That'd be really nice. I'd love to talk with somebody else about JoJo, especially part 3. I have like... If things hadn't gone down the way they do in part 3, I have a very serious question. I love asking people about it.
Although he recommends we watch the OVA version.
I recommend, well, I can't say yes or no, but I think I can say that the OVA version has shittier dubs.
And that condenses everything into like 13 episodes rather than 48.
Yeah, but you're also skipping a lot of stuff is the other problem with that.
And this part...
Like the baby that has a stand.
What?
Yes, the baby that has a stand.
We'll get into that.
I'm just gonna let that sit right there.
We're going to get into that during part 3, but this part encompasses the second section of the first series, so 17 episodes in this section. And I guess that's about it for us for now.
I think so.
Yes.
Let's see.
Yes.
So...
I believe the next one will be an order. A grand order.
Actually, no.
No?
It's Halloween.
Oh, that's right.
Yes, yes.
The second season of Castlevania coming out soon, too.
Actually, yes. I believe it's later on this month. Or next month, sorry. Actually, it comes out on the 26th of October. So, end of October.
Nice.
That's when you're getting your Castlevania Season 2.
Yes. I can't wait. I actually enjoyed that.
I should actually watch that. I have not. That's something I need to catch up on.
A lot of people, I heard a lot of people didn't like it, but since I don't watch anime too often, I enjoyed it, I guess.
You should probably watch that one and do something on that. That's one I've heard good things about.
So, next week is Halloween, and we'll start off with a ghoul, possibly in Tokyo.
Oh, I think I know.
Oh.
See, now you're spoiling things. Don't spoil the boy.
That one was a little bit more direct.
Kind of a little on the nose there.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe Ryan knows what we're talking about. Maybe he's even seen it. So,
maybe.
Laters.
Yeah.
Yeah.